24th-ranked Arizona's first game since finding out they'd be without Olsen. Bayless stepped up big time at Illinois for interim coach Kevin O'Neill. Late second half, Zona rallying after trailing by as many as 13. It's Bayless, the easy lay-in. Arizona down just 2. O'Neill geeked. Just over a minute to play. Chase Budinger finds Jordan Hill underneath. 2 of his 23 points. He also had 14 rips, and the Wildcats take their first lead of the game, 59-58. Next possession, Calvin Brock, the tough jumper for Illinois. Fighting Illini, retake the lead under 15 to go. Arizona down 2. It is Wise driving and missing. Hill is there to clean up the mess. We're tied at 61. Last chance for the Illini. Chester Frazier stripped by Wise, and time runs out. But check this out again. Wise appears to have called timeout, even though they didn't have any left. The officials don't notice, so we go to overtime. In OT, Illinois down 2. Brian Randall, the drive. But Budinger steps in, takes the charge. Randall fouls out, and Coach Bruce Weber is stunned. Just over a minute to play. Bayless, the drive and duck. 17 of his 20 came in the second half. Arizona pulls out the overtime win. Our Steve Lavin with Coach O'Neill after the game. Drama in the Pacific Northwest. 9th-ranked Pittsburgh putting its undefeated record on the line at Washington. In the first half, Huskies dialed in. John Brockman, baseline cut effective. 17 points, 12 rips for him. UW up 14-8. Brockman then finds Ryan Appleby for 3. 4 triples for him in the first half. Washington up 37-34 at the break and thinking upset. In half number 2, the Panthers rally. Ronald Ramon, the alley-oop to Sam Young. Look out below. Panthers shot 50% from the floor. Mike Cook baseline to Young for 2 of his 14 points. It's worth another look because it's a top play nominee. Pittsburgh up 71-65 with 2 minutes to play. Under 20 seconds to go. Huskies down 4. Appleby the 3. No. Brockman rips the loose ball free, kicks it back to Appleby for another triple. Money. He had 18 points. Huskies down 75-74. After a missed front end of a 1-on-1, Huskies with one last chance. Justin Denman, coast to coast as he beat the buzzer. He finished with 9 points, but not 11. You can see the ball is still in his hand with zeros on the clock, so the referees wave off the basket, and Pittsburgh survives a scare. Panthers win 75-74.
Number 8 UCLA got a scare against Davidson in the John Wooden Classic. First half, Davidson already out in front, 15-9. Bryant Barr, fundamentally sound, hits the 3. Davidson up 9. Ben Howland said of this Davidson club, I wouldn't want to be the team that has to play them in the tournament. He was right. Davidson very pesky. Andrew Lovedale puts them up 18. Later in the half, lead down to 8. Luke Richard Mbamute, bump of the bucket. UCLA down 6. They trailed by 4 at the half. Early second, UCLA's Mbamute has a 3-pointer, and he's not afraid to use it. He led all scorers with 21. Bruins take the lead 35-34. This season, Davidson had North Carolina, Duke, and now UCLA on the ropes, but the Bruins win 75-63.
We already saw Pittsburgh improve to 9-0. Saturday, 3 other teams looking to join them in that club. DePaul at number 3, Kansas entering Saturday. The Jayhawks 187 up, 12 down at Fog Allen Fieldhouse since the 94-95 season, which prompted Blue Demons coach Jerry Wainwright to compare facing Kansas to ancient Roman times. Quote, we have a big game coming up. I think it's in the Coliseum, isn't it? It's against the Lions over in that Coliseum. First half, Mario Chalmers, the thievery, lays it off the backboard for Russell Robinson. Jayhawks up 39-22 at the break. Second half, top play nominee. That was Daryl Jackson throwing down. Kansas wins big time. 84-66. Everything going right for the 3rd-ranked Jayhawks. They won 23 of their last 24 and off to their 14th 9-0 start in school history. And they aren't just winning, they're winning big. Despite winning by just 4 last week against USC, the Jayhawks' average margin of victory, more than 25 points per. And since '94, Kansas is 188-12 at home, including 8-0 this season.
Yeah, don't call it a Coliseum. It's a field house, people. Number 7, Duke. They're also 8-0. They were hosting Michigan. Blue Devils have won 55 straight home games against non-conference opponents. Michigan had problems shooting the ball. I mean, big time. They couldn't hit the broadside of a barn. Manning Harris.
Throw it in the ocean.
I was looking for that one, too. Manning Harris misses. Kelvin Grady, no, sir. John Beli's team, 9 for 37 in the first half. 37% for the game. Second half, Nolan Smith. Poor Zab Gibson, just no chance there to stop Nolan Smith, who had 17 points. Beeline took over for former Duke player and assistant Tommy Amaker in Michigan, and the Cameron Crazies were serenading him with Tommy's Better.
Also getting to stay undefeated, number 5 Texas taking on Rice. Lawrence's Longhorns with a shot to start 9-0 for the first time since the 81-82 season. First half off the steal, DJ Augustine to Damian Jones for the alley-oop lay-in and one. 7 assists, 18 points for Augustine. Longhorns up 47-29 at the break. Second half, A.J. Abrams driving and hitting. He had 18. Longhorns up 6-46. Connor Hatchley, the pass to James. Look out below. Season high 17 rebounds and 18 points. 4th straight double-double. Texas rolls. Kevin who? Oh, yeah, that Kevin Durant fellow balling in Seattle. Well, after he left Austin, just after 1 year, you'd have to figure the Longhorns would take a step back. No way. Longhorns 9-0, 2 games better than last year's pace, scoring at the same clip while holding opponents to just above 60 points a game.
Now, this Spartan team was down 10 at the half before Drew Neitzel caught fire. Spartans within 1 after that 3, and then Spartans start the second half on a 14-3 run. Neitzel with the J, 59-56 State. He scored 13 of his 15 points in the second half, and the Spartans go on to win 68-61. They out-rebounded their opponents 37-19.
Dayton at 11th ranked Louisville. Coach Rick Pitino at 499 career wins and counting. The Flyers not impressed. Second half, Preston Knowles gets the pass in transition from Terrence Williams and picks up the lay-in. Cardinals cut the lead to just 2. We're tied here no longer. Derek Carpenter off the window. Cardinals up to their first lead of this game. Dayton's Brian Roberts too much for the Cardinals to handle, though. Roberts to London Warren. Dayton up 7, under 5 minutes to go. Roberts driving and hitting. 28 points for him on the day. Under 5 to go. Jimmy Binney forcing the turnover. Roberts picks up the loose rock, and he's on the run. He finds Marcus Johnson. Dayton beats the Cardinals for a 3rd straight time. 70-65 is your final.
Kentucky and Indiana, number 15 Hoosiers without super freshman Eric Gordon. He's got a bad back and hip. We had brother checking brother Saturday. Crawford style. Jordan plays for IU. Joe plays for Kentucky. No, my brother. You got to get your own. Jordan gets the kick out, puts the 3 right over his brother. IU up 14-7. Hoosiers up 10 when DJ White, who was in foul trouble, his replacement DeAndre Thomas doing some things. He had 10 points in the first half. There's a Crawford brother, Joe, who had 10 points. Kentucky cut the lead to 8. The Hoosiers started the second half on a 14-zip run. Jamarcus Ellis inside, and then Jordan Crawford, 20 points, 10 more than his older brother Joe. Those 20 points a career high. DJ White slamming it home. IU goes on to win 70-51. They have won 23 straight at home. Not exactly the start Kentucky fans were hoping for in the Billy Clyde Gillespie era. The 4-3 record through 7 games matches the worst start by a new coach since Basil Hayden went 1-6 back in the 1920s. Joe B. Hall also started his Kentucky career 4-3. As for Tubby Smith, well, he went 6-1 in his first 7 en route to winning it all. Marquette's last win in Madison, November 14th, 1997. Minute to go in the first half. Look at the defense by Delaware. Just hands everywhere. Ball, 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 ball. Dominique James ends up with it, and he gets fouled. He had 20 on the day. Second half, Marquette has a slim 2-point lead. Gerald McNeil to Ousmane Barrow. That's a 3-point play. Marquette up 5 later in the half. Jason Bohannon, get it, got it, good. Badgers down 3. Next possession, watch Lazar Hayward. Just taking out people like mailboxes in a subdivision. The hard screen on Bohannon, that frees Hayward up. McNeil finds him. Marquette ends a 10-year drought in Madison, winning 81-76.
21st ranked Vanderbilt taking on DePaul. They're meeting for the first time since March 12th of 1965. And what a day that was. Should have been a national holiday as far as I'm concerned. Wesley Green backing down. Did you see no one boxed out Dar Tucker?
Did that just say it was your birthday?
Boxed out. Exactly. I'm like Glenn Davis. I was a big baby. Ross Neldner, wide open. A.J. Ogilvy with an easy layup. Tied at 79. We're on to overtime. I took a little extra time, too.
Yeah, as I understand it, you would have been a big kindergarten when you were born.
Traylon Burns, a layup. 2-point game. No one's back to cover Ogilvy, though, on the other end of the floor. Pick him up, somebody. Vanderbilt survives the scare. They win 91-85 to improve to 10-0.
10-12, the other numbers you need to know there. Cincinnati Xavier, who wants chili? Xavier coach Sean Miller, Cincy, coached by Mick Cronin. Schools 3 miles apart, so you probably don't need a charter. Take a bus. 75th meeting, Cincy leads 47-27. Who's the mayor rooting for, huh? Mark Mallory?
You know, it's a red versus blue thing in our city. Half the city is UC Red, the other half is Xavier Blue. It's friend against friend, neighbor against neighbor, husband against wife. And that puts me in a tough spot as mayor because people always want to pin me down and know who I'm rooting for. Well, I went to both schools, so my team always wins.
His team always wins. Well, let's see which one of those would be. Early second half, Marvin Gentry hits his head on a teammate's knee. He is down, require medical attention. Certainly frightening a night after watching TJ Ford get stretchered off, but according to Coach Cronin, Gentry should be fine. Drew Lavender of the block here on Vaughn. C.J. Anderson gets a loose ball, goes the other way. Derek Brown underneath for the dunk, and Xavier, the X team, wins it 64-59.